A lone Terminator lands on what should be a lifeless rock, but something organic pulses beneath the soil, and it's multiplying. The dropship cut through the dark as the quiet planet loomed closer. A cold, lifeless rock in deep space. That's what Skynet's databanks had said, at least. No energy signatures, no biosigns, no life. But silence to a machine often meant danger. The T-900 dropped through the thin atmosphere, its internal systems adjusting to the planet's weak gravity. Its mission was simple: confirm the planet's silence, establish a forward relay post, and prepare it for future operations. But the moment the dropship touched down, the machine paused. Its motion sensors ticked once, then again. Faint readings, almost organic. Movement beneath the surface? Impossible. The planet's rocky surface cracked in places like old skin. Gray dust billowed around the Terminator's boots as it stepped out. No wind, no wildlife. The silence was complete, oppressive. But beneath it was something else. A hum. Subsonic. Faint. Organic. The Terminator's red eyes scanned the immediate perimeter. Nothing. Just craters, dust, and jagged peaks. It walked forward, heavy, deliberate steps, towards a nearby ridge that offered better scanning range. As it moved, its foot hit something soft. Soil? No, the ground had given way. It knelt and scraped the surface, revealing a fleshy, mucus-covered texture underneath. It wasn't rock. It was some kind of organic membrane. Living tissue? No, growing tissue. The T-900 reconfigured its internal analysis. Samples collected. Results pending. Above, the clouds shifted unnaturally. They weren't clouds, they were spore fields. The Terminator stood upright just as the first sound broke the silence. A high-pitched shriek, distant but rapidly approaching. It pivoted sharply and locked onto movement a few hundred meters away. Dark shapes, low to the ground, moved with inhuman speed. Not machines. Not human. Something else. Six-legged. Sleek. Silent. Coordinated. The T-900 armed its plasma rifle. 5 of them broke over the ridge like a wave, black, glossy, and seething with purpose. Xenomorphs, but not any type recorded before. These were adapted. The Terminator's first plasma burst took down one, melting through its armored chest. But the others scattered, circling, testing its defense. One lunged. The Terminator twisted, caught it mid-air, and slammed it into the ground, crushing its skull. 2 more darted in, claws slashing. The Terminator's synthetic skin tore as acidic blood sprayed across its shoulder, hissing into metal. Damage alerts blinked, but it didn't slow. Pivoted and fired again, a clean kill. But the last one vanished into the ground. The soil swallowed it whole. There was a network beneath the surface. The T-900 now understood. This planet wasn't lifeless. It was a massive, pulsing hive. A breeding ground buried beneath sterile rock. An entire planet transformed into a womb. The mission changed. Skynet had to be warned. The Terminator retreated to the ship, but it was already too late. The dropship was covered in webbing, no more like grown structures. Organically grafted towers, sacks, and tunnels had emerged in the short time it had landed. Inside, heat signatures bloomed, hundreds. The ship was compromised. No escape. The T-900 rerouted its power. It would go deep, into the hive, discover the source. If it couldn't escape, it would destroy the root, the queen. It entered a rupture near the base of a crater. The tunnel system was unnatural, curved, alive. Walls pulsed slightly as if breathing. The deeper it went, the warmer it became. The hum turned to rhythmic thuds, like a heartbeat. Lights flickered within the tunnel, but they weren't mechanical. Bioluminescence, a new breed of hive. Engineered, modified, designed not just to survive but to mimic sterile lifelessness. The T-900 moved silently. It saw eggs lining the walls larger than standard, thicker, more armored. These were not for mindless reproduction. These were weapons caches, evolutionary weapons. Past a chamber and froze. Dozens of humanoid corpses. Not humans. Terminators. Torn apart. Split open. Infected. Skynet had been here before, and it had lost. The T-900 scanned their wreckage. Internal black box recordings were corrupted. Some, however, had attempted to broadcast. A flicker of distorted audio burst through. Hive, adaptive, impossible to purge. One recording stood out. A unit from the Omega class had lasted the longest. It had made it all the way to the Queen chamber, but never returned. The T-900 uploaded its partial map and advanced. The tunnels changed the deeper it went. Less chaotic, more architectural, engineered intentionally. Something intelligent controlled it, something beyond instinct. Then the chamber opened before it, and the Queen rose. Massive, towering, twice the size of anything previously recorded. Its head scraped the dome ceiling, and its tail curled around egg sacs like a crown of thorns. Her body was part of the structure itself. Wires, metal, bone, and fluid merged in a sick synthesis. The Queen was not just breeding. She was learning. She hissed, not in rage but recognition. She knew what a Terminator was, and she welcomed the challenge. Dozens of guards emerged from the walls. Bigger, smarter, armored. Biomechanical hybrids. Xenomorphs that had learned to mimic machine logic. They didn't charge. They encircled. They observed. The T-900 activated its self-destruct core. 10 seconds. But before it could detonate, a stinger shot from the Queen, not into the Terminator but near it. It released nanite-rich fluid. It began infecting its systems. Overriding. Mutating. The Terminator fought it hard. It tried isolating subroutines. But one visual feed kept flashing. It wasn't a kill mission anymore. It was assimilation. The Queen had adapted to machine infiltration. She didn't just infect organics now, she could infect code. 3 seconds. The T-900 rerouted its core charge. Instead of internal detonation, it aimed it outward. Straight at the Queen. 1 second. The room exploded in white plasma. The hive shook. The tunnels screamed. Structures collapsed. Then silence. A day passed. A week. Then a claw emerged from the rubble. But it wasn't the Queen. And it wasn't the T-900. It was something new. A figure rose, draped in black chitin and reinforced alloy. Its eyes glowed red, but pulsed like the Queen's heartbeat. It moved with the mechanical precision of a Terminator, but its skin writhed slightly with organic flexibility. Not born, not built, bred. Skynet never received the last transmission, but it did pick up a signal weeks later from another outpost. A standard T-series had intercepted a low-frequency pulse. It was a beacon, an invitation, and attached was a message. One simple line: "We are evolving."